Hi Gemini, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your July 1st to the 15th, 2021 reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Gemini, July 1st to the 15th, 2021, Gemini. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Ooh, this? Yes. Okay, there we go. Gemini, July 1st to the 15th, 2021, Gemini. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Gemini, July 1st to the 15th, 2021, Gemini. July 1st to the 15th, 2021, Gemini. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels. Gemini, July 1st to the 15th, 2021, Gemini. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, angels. Fantastic. Now, at the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self, the middle, our heart, our emotional self, the right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the tarot has to say. We have the Ace of Cups, so God, Source, Spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, is handing us a gift that can make this time astoundingly emotional because it's washing away so much negativity, so much hurt, so much pain, so many disappointments that we carry within ourselves that we can feel just a little bit more vulnerable. So do be mindful of that. The Hangman, we don't see things the same way as everybody else. And the first thing that happens when you don't see things the same way as everybody else is you think, there's something wrong with me. There isn't. There's just a different insight that you have. And it doesn't mean that it's wrong. It can mean that it's hypersensitive, so do be mindful of that. And it can also mean that it's based off of some trickery that you have been through in your past that's really coloring the way that you see the present at this time. So be very mindful of that also. We have the Seven of Swords. This is taking up information, taking up knowledge, moving forward, leaving some things behind, but it's also very much a sense of there's trickery. You're not going to be telling everybody everything, and there are going to be people who, they're doing their own thing and they don't want to tell you everything either. So do be mindful of that. In our inner self, we have the Hermit And we have the sun. It's time to turn inward and to let ourselves shine. Now, because we're not seeing things the same way as everybody else, this turning inward, we might think, oh my gosh, that's wrong. Like, I should be out there. I should be socializing. I should be, doing. I should, we're going to be hard on ourselves. So this is going to be a time where we need to look inward. We need to look at the star, the light that guides us. And our closest star is, of course, the sun. And it's our happiness, our joy, our success, our prosperity, beauty and blessings. And it's being able to hold on to those beauty and blessings in a really real and powerful way. It moves us to our emotional self. We have the Four of Pentacles, which for me is vampiric energy, so we do have to be mindful there. And we have the Ten of Swords. And I love that. Everything is fine. I love that at the bottom, you can see it right here. She's looking at her cell phone. She has 10 swords stuck into her, but as long as she can keep scrolling, everything is fine. And that's what we have to be mindful of. As long as we're diverted, as long as something mindless or something work-related is getting our attention, or we're editing the pictures to take out all the swords and be like, let's look, I'm really great. That's going to be what we have to be mindful of. Emotionally, things are going to be a little bit hard for us, and that does make sense because we're rooted with the Ace of Cups. It moves us then to the Emperor, which is Aries energy. March 21st to April 19th is the time frame, and the Magician, which I love that you have 2 major arcana cards for the external self, 2 major arcana cards for the internal self. Your powerhouse during this time, if you can just see it. The Emperor claims his throne, says this is who I am. The Magician stands before the altar of his existence and his creation and starts to cultivate something real, something powerful, starts to use the gifts that he was given in a powerful, determined way. And this is going to be exactly what we're doing during this time. We're trying to figure out where I stand and what's my power and how do I move forward and where is it that I want to be and what is it that I desire above all else. It's also as above, so below. As you believe it, so it becomes. And this is a time where our mind matters. The art of manifestation comes forward. And I know manifestation has gotten such a bad rap because it's not just simply crossing our fingers and saying, oh, I'd really like, or making a vision board and then not working towards it. It's saying, this is what my soul wants now. And we can actually see, we can see what we had envisioned when we were younger. And as we age, how that changes. How things maybe become a little bit more realistic. As we see, oh, well, that didn't make me happy, this does. And so what we think about, we call forward. And that's going to be with the positive, and that's going to be with the negative. Let's look at our chakra energy. Gemini. July 1st to the 15th, 2021, Gemini. July 1st to the 15th, 2021, Gemini. Angels and spirit guides. Clarity. The third eye chakra. A veil is being lifted. Insight is being granted. We're seeing things more clearly than we have before. But this clarity of vision, of insight, of desire, this sense of hyper-focused energy, it can be knocking us off our game because we can see the end result. We can see where we want to be, or we can start to see people not for who they want to be perceived as, but for who they really are. And that can be disheartening. It really can be. That can be upsetting and overwhelming because the facade is falling away. And a lot of times we see people as we wish to envision them, like as we hope they could be one day, someday. And this is a time where it's not one day, someday. It's now. And the third eye is opening. It's giving us insight. It's giving us ideas. And it's pushing us forward in a different way than we had thought. Now, the energy we are to be mindful of during this time. What is the energy that Gemini needs to be mindful of? July 1st to the 15th, 2021, Gemini. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Goodness. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. Frailed. Now, this is Sagittarius energy. This is diving too deep into ideas. We're going to be very captivated by people who think a lot. And here's the thing with people who think a lot. They can be great hypothesizers. They can be great theorists. But how are they living their life? And how exactly this their life translates to your life. Because if it doesn't, we have to be very mindful of the pedestal that we're putting them on. We're going to be very intrigued by ideas, by different ways of looking at them and things, as we always are as air sign energies, but especially as Geminis. And we need to understand that we need to take just a little bit of knowledge from each person and flits to the next flower. People always get mad at Geminis. Oh, you flits. Oh, your attention span isn't that long. It's like, okay, fair. Like, there's an argument for that. But I take what I need. And Geminis are really good at knowing when it's time to leave. We might leave a little bit early, because we're done. It doesn't matter if everybody else is. And that could be something that we need to work on, yes. But the fact that we need to work on being lured in, and the fact that we need to stop comparing ourselves against everybody else, that's going to be really important. Because we're going to want to. We're going to want to look at people and say, wow, they have it all figured out. I should do it just like them. And it's that vampiric energy that's going to come in, and that's we're drawing to our hearts. Because it's just kind of like, they might have it figured out for them, but does it work for you? And do you know that they actually have it figured out? Or are they just giving lip service right now? At our root is the Ace of Cups. Again, this makes us emotionally vulnerable. We have to be very mindful of that. It's stirring up the waters. It's making us a bit more weepy. It can make us snippy and, a little bit witchy during this time, because that's just going to be our default way of dealing with things. There's going to be a sense of, I'm too sensitive, I'm too overwhelmed, I'm feeling things too intensely, I'm just going to get snippy at everybody, period, end of discussion, so they leave me alone, I can turn inward, or it can backfire on us, it can make us think, I don't need to turn inward, I'm right, everybody else is wrong, let's just move forward from there. So the Ace of Cups comes in, and it really starts to show us the negativity within our lives. It really starts to show us what's weighing us down, what's holding us back, what's keeping us from moving forward the way that we want to. And some of us won't be ready to see this. So it can just be a frustrating time. And we have to give ourselves that understanding. It's frustrating. I'm looking at bits and pieces, but putting the whole puzzle together, putting everything together to be able to stand in my power, to be able to move forward from past hurts and past traumas, that's going to take time. For others of us, that's it. I'm going forward. I'm, emotionally curious. I feel lighter. I feel more focused within myself. And now I can conquer the world. So there's going to be two extreme ways of handling things. And we might find, as the twins that we are, that one day I handle things really well and the next day not so much, So we have to give ourselves slack. We have to. And we also have to be open and honest if we're feeling vulnerable. Say to your family, to your friends, to your coworkers. Well, depending on what you want to share with your coworkers, it's just like, listen, I'm having a bad day. Just be aware of that. Like, things aren't going well right now. People might want to pry deeper. You don't need to tell them anything. But be sure that you share that you're not on your A game, all right? Because that's actually going to help you in the long run. And then we have the Hangman. The Hangman, I see things differently. I'm not in this game for what everybody else is seeking to win, seeking to, be powered up by. I'm just seeing a video game and trying to get everything that powers everybody else up, but it doesn't work for your character. It doesn't work for you. And you think, wow, there's something wrong. There's a glitch. But there isn't. There isn't. You're different. And embrace that. Embrace that and use it as kind of like a superpower. Because if you look at your differences and as you're emotionally being cleansed and as you're finding how to stand in your power, how to know what you want, how to release the negativity, the hurts, the traumas that have been holding you back, and not saying, oh, I'm just going to release it, but really looking at it, really looking at the sewer sludge that is inside of us and saying, I don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate the scars that a caregiver gave me. I don't appreciate the hurts and the mistrust that a former lover or a lover has given me. I don't appreciate the way that I was made to feel about myself. And I see the world differently. I see me differently, and I get to be empowered. I get to be emboldened. I get to walk forward with pride and in dignity of self. And I'm seeking wisdom. That's why we're going to be so drawn to people who we think, wow, they have the answers. They have answers for them. And the beautiful thing with life is that we're all just a little bit different. Not Not too different. We really aren't too different, but we're all just a little bit different. So we need to tweak things to be right for us. For some people, spirituality, it doesn't mean anything for them. For others, it's an integral part of who they are. I know that's true for me. If I take the spiritual out of it, I feel empty and hollow, whereas other people will say, well, that's the spaghetti monster in the sky. Who the heck cares? So just being aware of that and just knowing and owning our differences and not saying, wow, that makes me bad or that makes the other person better, that's going to be fundamentally important. And then it moves us to the Seven of Swords, to gathering up our knowledge, gathering up our understanding, and moving forward. We're going to be looking backwards, to make sure we're moving forward the right way, but also because as we're leaving something, we kind of want to make sure they miss us. We want to make sure that they see. And that's not important. It's just not. Let them miss us if they have the wherewithal to be so wise. And let them not if they're so engrossed in their own worlds. But this is also people within our lives and that we're going to be working with. They have their own agenda. They're not going to be sharing with you all the time. Now, it can be because you said, you know what, a little bit upset, having a bit of a hard time. They can think, okay, I'm going to carry this. I'm looking back just to make sure that you're okay. I don't really see that as necessarily being the case because they're looking in the wrong direction from your healing. So this is going to be more of, I wonder if I'll get caught. It's kind of like when a little kid goes to touch something that you told them not to touch. It's like, I wonder if you're going to catch me. And I'm going to do it slow enough and I'm going to start giggling so you catch me because this is just too exciting. I'm breaking all the rules. And we're going to kind of see that with the people around us, whether it be a child, whether it be a lover, whether it be, whomever. They're going to do something and wait for us to respond. Our response, do not rise, okay, to the trap that they are setting. Not saying, oh, okay, you can walk all over me, that's fine. But don't give them the emotional fuel that you will want to give them. You will want to blow up or you will want to show tremendous hurt, tremendous pain. It's time to walk away. It's time to walk away from the situation and say, you know what, no, that's not cool. That's not okay. And then we turn inward. In our inner selves, we turn inward. And our light, our star, our inspiration, our passion, it starts to guide us. This isn't a time where we need to be surrounded by 18 million different people. Actually, we would prefer it if we weren't. This is a time where we look at what we want from life, where we're headed, what we desire, what we need, what we're aiming for, and we let that light shine for us, guide us, and inspire us. We let ourselves open up the door in a very real way, in a very passionate way. This isn't a time for everybody else. It is most definitely a time for us. And as we start to step forward towards dreams, towards desires, this is also quietly paying our dues. So you might say, Dane, I've been paying my dues forever. And fair, absolutely fair. It's kind of like, when does it stop? But, with Abraham Hicks, they say, you put into the vortex what you don't want. And so the paying of the dues is putting into the vortex what I don't want. I don't want it. I can't stand it. I can't keep walking down this road. And then it's getting a return. It's saying, okay, well, you don't want this. Well, how about this? And it's kind of like trying on a pair of shoes. You can say, okay, I'm this size, but not in every shoe, which is rude, first of all, I've always thought. But seeing what fits, what's comfortable, what's right. The hermit is bringing us inward to be more self-aware. Not to the point of criticism, not to the point of everything I do I'm going to be hypercritical of, and I'm not going to let me move forward. No, it's turning inward to say, how am I lighting my way? Am I focusing on what's most important for me? Do I know what I desire? Do I know where I want to be? Have I checked in with myself? Or has my life just simply been doing for everybody else, and getting out of bed is a struggle? I feel disconnected from my world. I feel disconnected from the dreams that I had before the responsibilities kicked in. And then the sun starts to shine on us. That little star in that lantern becomes the sun. The sun is happiness and joy. It's the happiest card in the whole entire tarot deck. When we turn inward, we get to see what brings us bliss, what brings us joy, what starts to move us towards what we desire, not what everybody else desires, but what we desire for us. And that starts to open up the gateways. That starts to bring us a greater alignment with ourselves, a greater understanding of where we want to be, and not just what everybody else is demanding. It's saying, what's your happiness? And do you have time for it? I understand definitely with kids, it can feel like my whole life just goes to you and I don't have any time of my own anymore. And it can feel so unrewarding. It can also feel that way with work, especially if work isn't valuing us. It's so unrewarding to give your life to somebody who doesn't even say thank you and just expects and takes and takes. And so here, it's being aware and it's saying, I need to shine. This is absolutely indicative of a sign that we need to shine for ourselves. We need to let in the joy, the light, the celebration, the success, because the vampiric energy of the heart is like, I can't do this anymore. I can't constantly be guarding myself from the negativity of others, from the hurts and pains of others, from the hardships and the disappointments and the little seeds of doubt and despair that were planted in me when I was small and I didn't do something right and it didn't measure up to somebody's unrealistic expectations. How do I get to shine for me? The Four of Pentacles says, first I have to understand that there is not the flow of chakra energy. We're blocking off the soul star chakra, we're blocking off the earth star chakra, and we have our solar plexus and our heart chakra blocked right there. So we have to be very mindful of this, have to be very mindful of how the energy is flowing within us. Are we taking care of ourselves? What are the voices that are tumbling through our heads? The voice of a caregiver that told us, you're not good enough, you'll never measure up, or a teacher, or a friend, or a lover that laughed at our dreams. There's a quote from, oh my gosh, I always say their name wrong. I think it's the Avett brothers, or the Avett. I don't know. And they say that in one of their songs, they said, if the one you love laughs at your dreams, then one of them has got to go. Meaning that if the person that you love laughs at a dream that you have, then either you have to choose then between the person that you love and your dream, because there can't be both. And it's looking at the people who laughed at our dreams as we went along in our lives. It doesn't matter if we're doing what we said we were going to do. I'm going to grow up to be a ballerina astronaut, and you're not a ballerina astronaut. It didn't mean you were a failure. It meant that you changed directions and you realized, like I did, that you have terrible motion sickness. So that would be a bad career choice. It's being kind to ourselves. It's realizing that I can change my mind 500,000 times and I don't need to be judged. I don't deserve to be mocked. And it's taking that energy that mocks, that hurts, that is cruel, and it's saying, no more. I'm done with this. I'm done with it, and I'm done with letting you leach inside of me. And then it brings us to the Ten of Swords. Everything is fine. That's the mantra of our world. Everything is fine. But it's not. Over our lives, we have pains that we accumulate, hurts and devastations. We have to call them out. We have to learn from them. We have to see them. And not just be in this digital world, this media-run world that's all about profit, that's all about, sharing like-minded ideas, that's all about keeping us in a certain vortex. What gets you to keep swiping and swiping? I was just watching clips of Botched because, oh my gosh, and it's addictive. And you're just like, oh, I'll watch the next one. It's only 2 minutes. Oh, I'll watch the next one. It's only 2 minutes. And then all of a sudden, you've lost an hour or better, and you're looking at it, and you're like, what the heck is this? So be mindful. Be mindful. Because we're being kept in a headspace that's about instant gratification, that travels at the speed of light, that it's about the next thing, speed it up, get more information. But it's crippling us in the way of connecting, in the way of just experiencing simple joys. And also in learning the lessons, not seeing the swords that are in us, seeing that the swords, the only weapon within the tarot, is worth a fortune. To have a sword in medieval times, that was to be noble, quite literally, to be a noble individual, to be above everybody else, and to be skilled, and to have put in time and effort to improve your life and your standing within the world. And that's what we get when we face hardships now, pains and disappointments. They're to make us the warriors of the world, to move forward, being able to defend what we love and what we want and what we desire and what we need. We won't get that if we don't look, if the heart and the mind doesn't come together and say, this is what's held me back. This is what I doubt. This is what I fear. Where do I stand? And why am I distracting myself? Why am I sabotaging myself? Then we have the Emperor and the Magician. I claim my throne. The Emperor doesn't have to be nice. In the public arena, we don't always have to be nice. It doesn't mean that we have to be a right, jerk about things. But it also means that we don't have to sit there and say, you know what, that person should take the lead because it'll make them feel better and I don't need it. That type of thing. Or always putting ourselves last and always thinking everybody else matters more. The Emperor claims his throne and says, I lead the way because somebody has to. And also, I'm not following anybody else. I'm leading my life. I'm not following in anybody else's desires. It leads us to the Magician. As above, so below, as we believe it, so it becomes. It brings us to magic. The magic of confidence, the magic of intention, of focus. Because here's the thing. Spirit was talking about manifestation, getting a bad rap. But manifestation is important because the mind does not know the difference between reality and make-believe. And that's terrifying. That is absolutely terrifying if you think about it. But it is saying here that what you focus on starts to manifest within our world because the mind does not know that that's not what that's not what we want. We're focusing on it because we're scared. We're focusing on it because we're overwhelmed. We're focusing on it because, it's better to be prepared for the worst case scenario and then have the best one happen. Okay. It's not saying be foolish and be blindsided. What it is saying here is believe that you are worth prosperity, success, bounty, and abundance. Believe that the door is open. And they might not open and have red carpets roll out, but they may very well open and start leading you towards dreams, towards desires, towards, prosperities you couldn't have thought of. It doesn't mean it has to be grand double doors opening. It could be a window that gets to be jimmied just the right way and then you can slip in. Bounties happen differently. We love our stories of the overnight successes. Most overnight successes take 20 years in the planning or better. And you do have those lucky individuals. It was their time. It was written in their stars that now is the time for success. But isn't success super sweet when you've worked so hard for it? When, it takes you by surprise. So let's go deeper. Show me more deeply the rooted energy of Gemini, July 1st to the 15th, 2021. Gemini, show me more deeply the rooted energy of Gemini, July 1st to the 15th, 2021. Gemini, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. The King of Pentacles, prosperity and success. Bounty, abundance, earth sign energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. If you have earth sign energy in your chart or you're born on the cusp with Taurus, this is going to be coming out quite intensely. There is a sense here of I am the king, this sacred masculine energy coming forward and saying, I get to claim what is rightfully mine. I get to move forward in power, in dignity, and in greater understanding. I open up these doors and wealth comes in. I plant these seeds and I watch my harvest grow. Not all the seeds that I plant will yield a crop. That's just logic. But I move towards my goals with dignity and with focus. And people see me as success. We move deeper. Okay? Gemini, during this time, people see you as successful. Maybe not in one specific area. Maybe it's in a different area. Maybe you're not looking that way. But it's opening up the mind. It's opening up the self and saying, I get to have this. And there can also be a mentor that you find. Whether that person be online or a book that you read or, an actor, and they never know that they're your mentor. or a person that you meet in real life. There's a sense of somebody who's helping you gain and build your prosperity. Gemini. Show me more deeply the inner self of Gemini, July 1st to the 15th, 2021. Show me deeply the inner self of Gemini, July 1st to the 15th, 2021. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Temperance, balance. We need it. We definitely need balance during this time. And again, it's another major arcana card. So the inner self is hugely important. We need this balance. We need this sense of harmony. We need this greater understanding, this subconscious and conscious mind feeding each other, being able to inspire, being able to lead us forward. If we don't have balance, if we're not tempered, okay, if we let ourselves move in one extreme and then the other, first of all, we're going to be exhausted, and it's going to be an exhaustion we can't really pin down. And secondly, it's going to be aggravating. So just be mindful of that. It's not going to be something that you enjoy. This kind of pendulum of emotion, this ping-ponging of desire. Let's see more deeply the emotional self. Show me deeply the emotional self for Gemini, July 1st to the 15th, 2021. Gemini. Show me deeply the emotional self of Gemini, July 1st to the 15th, 2021. Gemini. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. The King of Swords. I love it. The King of Swords is us. We're represented by the swords in the minor arcana. We're represented by the lovers in the major arcana. And I believe this king is a woman. I don't know with this deck if they depict everyone as women. There's some decks that do that. I'm not sure if I like that, because I believe we need a balance of the sacred masculine and the sacred feminine coming forward within us, and I think that's super important. We're all about transformation during this time, and it can be calling the sacred feminine into the sacred masculine as we transform, as we gain our throne, as we gain an understanding, as we see things more deeply and clearly for ourselves. There is a sense with the King of Swords is that I'm not taking anybody's bull. The King of Swords is a warrior king, period, end of discussion. He's trained, he's armed, he's ready, and he's wise. He's been there and he's seen it. He knows the tricks that people pull. And that's going to be the energy that we bring to the table. I've seen it before. You're not going to impress me that easily. And people might be surprised because we might not seem old enough to have that gravitas to us. We are going to be. So do be mindful of that during this time, that there's an intensity. Use it to your advantage. Call it forward. Embrace your skill and your desire. And don't back down from your truth. Now, when Spirit says don't back down from your truth, it's not saying live in delusion, because sometimes we can be wrong about something, and it's important to say, oh, well, I was wrong there. Cool, let's move on. But to give up who we innately are and say, well, you know what? It looks better to be like this person, or it looks better to do this. That would be better for me. Instead of saying, this is who I am, then this is who I need to be. We have to be mindful of that. Our subconscious, to go deeper into our public self. Show me more deeply Gemini in the public arena, July 1st to the 15th, 2021. Gemini. Show me more deeply Gemini in the public arena, July 1st to the 15th, 2021. Gemini. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. We have these two. It's interesting. 2 6s. Okay? And yeah. And so here we have the 6 of Pentacles and the 6 of Cups. The 6 of Pentacles is not having things balanced when it comes to money. Either somebody's giving and giving, somebody's taking and taking and taking. And then the 6 of Cups is being nostalgic, of thinking the past was better. It's also a sense of rose-colored glasses. The past was better than it actually was. And so we have to be mindful of this negative energy that wants to overshadow, because the negative always wants to overshadow the positive, and always has this kind of lizard brain way of overshadowing the positive, because I have to be focused on the threat, what can hurt me, what can pull me down, because I need to be able to survive. So with the Emperor and with the Magician, these are two heavy hitters. This is sacred masculine energy that we have to really embrace in the public arena, where we have to claim our throne, know what we want, go after what we want, develop the magic within ourselves, call that magic forward, be able to say, these are my powers. Like, and I don't mean that in a superhero way. I mean that in these are my strengths. These are my weaknesses. I totally know them, but these are my strengths. And they get to move me forward. They get to inspire me. They get to be my guides during this time. And this is what I'm focusing on. And I'm focusing on opening up of doors. I'm focusing on, moving forward with confidence and distinction and, desire and intensity. And it brings us to a place where we're saying, well, is it fair? Is everything balanced? Am I overwhelmed? Am I moving things the right way? And then with the Six of Cups, it's the hurts and pains of the past coming forward, or it's the nostalgia for, I wish, this person was still alive. I wish I could go back to my childhood home. I wish that things could be simpler again, and that everything could be okay. Like when I was small, when things were made okay, so much easier than they are now. We have to be mindful of this, because this energy, it can break our hearts, and it can put us in a mind space, in a head space that, we're not able to move forward. We're not able to see clearly anymore, because all we are nostalgic and hurt and overwhelmed. So that's an intense warning for the public arena. Now, our subconscious chakra self is communication, the third chakra. We need communication, especially as Geminis. We need to be able to communicate, to express, to dive deeper, but know that not everybody's going to be on the same page. We also need that connection with spirit. We need that knowledge and that understanding to be able to open up our hearts and to see things more clearly. But know that everybody that we're communicating with is not operating on the same level as us. They're bringing things from their chaotic home life. They're bringing things that, from other areas in their work, from, every which way, from their friends, family, everybody. And so we have to just be mindful that we're going to be picking up on everything. And not everything is aimed at us. It's just the overflow. It then leads us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of, and that's the King of Wands. Passion and focus and fire and determination, and I will get there no matter what, and I will. We have to be mindful of it. We do, because we can be very caught up in the fire, and we can burn a lot of people, because air feeds fire, and we're going to want to kind of burn everything down and say, I will make it right. I will make it fit. I will make it go. So do be mindful of that. It leads us to our subconscious rooted message. And that's the Hierophant, again coming up. Is it again? The earth side energy here. Okay. Coming up, the Taurus energy, which is related to the King of Pentacles, so amplifies it. This is a sense where we need to say, this is what's intrinsically important to me. And if I turn my back on my innate personal values, I turn my back on everything. And I'm not ready to do that. The kingdom of heaven is ours, right? The Hierophant is the Pope. And the Pope in medieval times, the most powerful person in the medieval world. And so I claim this power, but not over others, over me. To say, I know what I love and what I don't. What I need to move forward with and what I can't move forward with at all. And once I start to embrace me, my kingdom opens. My doors open, and I will be astounded at what comes. Our subconscious inner self is the Six of Wands. Celebration, success, prosperity. It's saying it's time to start celebrating yourself, which sounds egotistical. It really does. Like, I'm going to celebrate me, nobody else is, that's fine. But it's not egotistical. It's powerful, and it's bountiful, and it's being able to say, I'm worth it, and mean it. It leads us then to our subconscious emotional self. And that's the Seven of Pentacles. Be patient. Be patient. We're going to not want to be patient. We're going to be trapped a little bit by pain and think, this is it. This is all I have. I fought so hard, but it's just not enough. It is. It is. Be patient. Connect with spirit. Have that, beautiful power open up to you. Be able to walk forward in it. It leads us to our subconscious public arena. And that's the Tower. We've been through a heck of a lot of change. For some of us, we've had our worlds turned completely topsy-turvy. And to claim our power is going to be hard because we're much more used to destruction and despair and heartbreak. And the Tower is simply divinity saying, I'm pushing you out of your comfort zone. You don't get to be there anymore. There's a new horizon for you. And it's painful to get there, but it's imperative that you do. Okay. All right, Gemini. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a rising of our positive energy as we embrace our passion and our determination. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Gemini.